Right, Paddy, tell us about life after Featherstone then as a player. You've obviously become a very highly successful businessman. It sounds like a very interesting story. How did it all unfold?
I don't know about highly successful. So from rugby, when it became when I became a part-time player as opposed to a full-time player, I had to get a job for my sanity more than anything. It wasn't necessarily a financial thing that I had to do. But and I started working for a stonemasonry company in York, a company called JW Smith Masonry. Incidentally, very good friend of the family, and he gave me an opportunity just to go and working down there casual. Fast forward there, 2 or 3 years of working there, I started working out on sites as a stonemason. And it's called grandfather rights, Terry. So no, I didn't go to college for 4 years, tip-tapping away with my tungsten chip chisels. I just learnt on site. Some people might say chancer, but I learnt my trade, and from there, I don't know. I speak to people now, and they say, yeah, I think you were always destined to probably set up your own business and move into those bigger fields of industry. And yeah, that's what I did. So from a white van to where we are now, working in the major cities in the UK, and currently in Edinburgh, Manchester and London. I'm really proud of what I've achieved.
Rightly so. So having made a success of your life, I'm sure the Rovers faithful would love to know what it was that triggered your interest in returning to Featherstone.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people say it was always on the cards, but it wasn't really always on the cards. I'd obviously, Featherstone were my team. I was involved with York for a number of years behind the scenes, and really enjoyed my time there. It's my hometown, but the opportunity really was me reaching out to Mark and Martin when I saw the release that Mark had just had enough. Really, he wanted to step aside, and who's out there, contact us. So yeah, I picked up the phone, asked if I could come down to watch a game. Came down, watched a game with Mark, and that was how the interest started. It was never to become chairman within 5 or 6 months, but it's in such a short space of time. I would still say it was an organic kind of transition, and Mark's still heavily involved in supporting and helping me, advising. As I say, we're not reinventing the wheel here. Half of the things that I'm challenged with are probably things that Mark were challenged with early doors when he took over at Featherstone as well.
So what potential do you see in the club?
I see lots of potential in Featherstone Rovers, and it's not just the opportunities that Featherstone has. Unfortunately, it's more the opportunities that our rivals don't have. We are sat on 22 acres of land, which we are still yet to decide how that's going to be developed. In one area we've got development, in the other area we've got returning this land, making it work for the community, which is certainly something that I'm championing, and the rest of the board are championing. The council are encouraging us to do that. So we've got that element that other clubs perhaps don't have. We own our own stadium, which is exciting in itself. We're not in a queue to see if we can play or go on the field or host other events here. So that in itself is a fantastic opportunity and a great place to be. And it's probably fair to say that I'm in the building trade, and there are areas of the stadium that could perhaps do with improving. And one of them is I'm probably going to make a start on the old terrace down there, Post Office Road end. So the development that has, let's not forget that it's got a core base of rugby league. It's rugby league in this town and the 5 towns around it. It's rugby league, so to be able to draw onto that support from the fans, so it has that. So there's like the likes of Millennium House that would, you know, all these opportunities that we've got to make this a fantastic club they're almost endless. It's almost you know, you scratch your head and say, right, where do we start? So but we do have a plan. We do have a plan. I do want to share that with everybody once it's finalised, but those are some of the key areas that I see as being a big attraction to the club.
But you came into the club at a very difficult time, Paddy, when financial difficulties were well documented, players hadn't been paid, and it didn't really portray the club in a very good light. Did that not faze you at all? No,
I could see past it. That's the short answer. I can see past it, and I don't give very many short answers, Terry.
Obviously, you're still dealing with the financial issues. What plans do you have to overcome them? Although you've more or less just said it, haven't you, really? Just to ensure that Featherstone becomes an ongoing viable business again.
Yeah. There is some. There is historical debt, and those debts are being managed. It's not been the easiest of jobs for Martin Vickers, but there are payment plans in place for the big headlines, so they're all satisfied. We have some smaller historical debt, if you like, but a lot of those are like friends of the club. They're not banging on the door, wanting to pull the shutters down on the club. Those debts will be settled once we're fully up and running. Perhaps I didn't emphasise it enough when I'm talking about the return to Featherstone. The fans and how those fans made me feel in such an important part of my life when I was a young man. It's priceless. I know that there was a lot of people's dreams shattered last year against London, just like my dreams were shattered when we got beat in the grand final. But hopefully this time it's not shattered dreams.